Well, we're back in the garage. That's still there. The old infamous gang mower. I'm making a bit of space in it. The car's got to come in. Just hold on. Pepe's running off to tell the farmers what's what. Look at him go. You know. Can you see us? No, he's not looking. Anyway, yeah, so the gang mower's in here. Now, if you watch our videos, you'd have seen that we struggled to get it in here using the digger. Now, the digger, I think, has got like a rated load of what it can pick up, somewhere around 300 kilos. That weighs nearly a ton, 800 and something kilos, so it's not far off a ton. It's heavy. So what I've done is I've taken off the front gangs. Well, I'm stripping it down anyway, so let's have a quick look. Taking the front gangs off of it. The middle one's still under it. They are heavy. They're over here, look. As I said, everything on this is so massively over-engineered. There's the middle one still on it. I'll leave that one on it for now. It's lifted up out the way. I've got a flat tyre here, which doesn't help matters, but I'm going to pick the front end up with a digger anyway. So yeah, we see the engine. It looks like there's bolted on. There's a bolt there. Bolt there, bolt there. There's 4 bolts basically. And hang on. The engine unit with the radiator looks like it will just lift off. Disconnect the wiring. Disconnect the fuel pipes and the throttle linkage. And that should lift off. There's an adjuster down here which pushes it backwards and forwards. I'm assuming it's so that you can line, it's all on slots. So you can line it all up with, so your pulleys are all, I've taken one of the pulleys out so I can get the belt off. That's the bottom belt that goes to the gearbox. And there's a belt that goes from this pulley. So there's like a Varimatic pulley, well, not Varimatic, but it's adjustable. I'll show you it all when we start putting it all back together. But yeah, so this is the state that the gang mower's in at the minute. Chain driven. I say it's so over-engineered, grease nipples on everything. Yeah, and I think looking down here, as long as I can get to those bolts, I should be able to undo that. Take the throttle cable off, undo a bit of wiring in the back of there and round the front here, off the front of the engine. Yeah, get all that disconnected and we should be able to just lift the engine off. I'm not lifting it off by hand because that'll be heavy, but we'll get a strap around it and we'll pick that up with a digger, and that can sit under the bench as well. I'm not going to strip the engine down. It doesn't burn oil, it's not knocking or anything. The engine is it's a Kubota 2-cylinder diesel. Dog. But I might paint it up, give it a bit of a clean and paint it. And I think we're going to end up stripping this right down to the chassis. I spoke to a bloke who's a bit of an expert on these gang mowers and explained the situation with the forward driving. And he says, well, you need to take the gearbox apart and find out what is wrong with it before you start anything else. So the case of stripping it down, getting to the gearbox. Yeah, we'll get on with that. But what we need to do is make space in this garage to get the car in. And I will tell you for why. Airport run the other week. I've ordered these. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see what these are. Look, original quality, OEM. Let's open these up on the bench. New nut, new wheel bearing, new circlip. And uno, due, 1, 2. So yeah, these are original quality. It even said so on there. A lot of people say, oh, that's not genuine Land Rover. Well, you go and buy a genuine Land Rover wheel bearing, and believe it or not, Land Rover don't actually make wheel bearings. So if you're buying a genuine Land Rover part, it's not actually made by Land Rover. I don't know who who makes the original wheel bearings in the Land Rover, Range Rover L322. All 4 wheel bearings are exactly the same, front, back, all exactly the same. Slightly different way of fitting them because obviously you've got to take all the front hub assembly off, and I think the septic tanks call it a steering knuckle, don't they? Oh, sorry for those of you that don't know, septic tank, yank, Americans. Yeah, so yeah, I've got these original quality wheel bearing made by, I don't know how you say that, Mealy. 43 euros each. I didn't think that was bad. I thought, well, coming back from the airport, the car felt a little bit funny. And there is a bit of a whining noise, but it's not really loud enough. You can't pinpoint it. But as I was going to the airport, I was sort of coming down like a main road, so the speed limit was about 80 kilometres. So as I'm coming down towards a roundabout, I was just touching the brakes a little bit. And it started going, whoa, 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 whoa. And now it's not the brakes, because I've had a look at the brakes. They're all perfect. But there is a bit of a thing there. Of course, you jack a Range Rover up, it's permanent four-wheel drive. You can't really spin the wheel up. There's no playing it top to bottom anywhere. I got Tina to sit in it, put it in neutral, which sort of freed up a little bit of the transmission. You could turn it, but there's a lot of resistance there. Now, I was doing a bit of internet research to try and figure out what... It's not even done 100,000 miles yet, this car. We're on 150,000 kilometres, just gone over. So 160,000 kilometres is 100,000 miles. But it's a wear and tear item, same as the control arms. I don't know if Sam's had his changed previously or if he's done them. I'm not sure, can't remember. But he's got a lot of miles on his. I would assume he would have had wheel bearings if he hasn't done them. The previous owner would have done them. These are off Auto Doc. There is the part number. If you want to pause it and have a look. Yeah, I didn't think that was bad. So anyway, yeah, I've got a bit of a whoa, 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 whoa. But sort of, as I said to my dad when I picked him up from the airport and we're coming away, I said, I can hear a noise of whirring or something. Of course, as I'm pointing it out, I said, oh yeah, there is a bit of white. Because trouble is with rain, I had to switch everything off. Aircon off, radio off. But you got a lot of wind noise still on a Range Rover because they're shaped like a brick. Roof rack's still on the car, so that makes a bit of noise. But there is a definite whine there somewhere, and it does feel a bit odd driving it. But that could be because we've not had the steering alignment, the wheel alignment done since I've done the control arms. It did feel all right driving it local, but it's when you get out onto like a main road and a nice smooth surface. At one point, I got in traffic on a smooth bit of road, and the car felt like it was going like that. And I thought, well, that feels like a tyre gone out of shape. So yeah, I just don't know. Let me know what you think. I've not got the car in here yet, so if one of you, I mean, I've been in the motor trade for so long, but you know, if one of you clever people out there says, oh no, that's not wheel bearing, it's this. But I've checked the brakes are all good. We did put new discs and pads on it not so long ago. Can't see anything on that. But it was doing with it. Did feel a bit weird when I had the other tyres on, the road tyres, the Track Max Privilos. So yeah, I might just end up changing the wheel bearings anyway, just as an exercise in mechanicking, keep my hand in. I've got a 20-ton hydraulic press here. I do see on these YouTube channels where people are using these push press tools that you screw in and tighten up, ideally in a vise. I haven't got one of those, but I've got a 20-ton press, and some big 3/4 drive sockets. We will see how we get on. Obviously, when we're pressing the bearing out, I'll press it out via the middle of the bearing. I'll go into all this when we actually do the video, but I've seen a lot of people cock these bearings up. Now, obviously on the Range Rover, there is 2 different sides to it. A metal side, and they're not, it's a bit of something, I'm not sure what it is. One of them is the ring for your wheel sensor. We've got a nice thin piece of metal here. So yeah, one side is magnetic, Look, there you go. Put it on the other side, it doesn't stick. So when you're doing this job, make sure it goes in the right way. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll press the bearing out of the hub, take the circlip off, put a big socket on that piece and press it out. But you don't want to be pressing the new bearing in with that, you want to press the new bearing in on there. But so what I'm going to have to do, because I haven't got a socket that big, is use the old bearing, just grind a face off it a little bit so that it will go in and out of the hub easy, because you don't want to be pressing this one in with the old one on it, and the old one gets stuck in the hub. So I will grind a bit off the face of the old bearing, use that as a press that whole lot in, and then you press the hub into there from the back. That's the plan, that's the theory. I will bring you along for a video. I just thought I'd let you know what we're up to. We're in the garage, we're doing bits and pieces. There's all grease and oil and shite, not shite, but that's all got stuff on that so it doesn't rust in the box while it's sat in the warehouse. Yeah, so I'm not really looking forward to doing it, but I'll just get it done. I'm going to do the driver's side first. That's definitely the side it sounded like it was coming from, even though it's not really sort of that audible that you can really hear it. But I think when I get the drive shaft out of the hub, which looks to be a bit of a job in itself, according to some people on the internet. The good thing is with our car, there's no corrosion on it. We don't live near the coast. It's not all salty, so I'm hoping I'll just undo the big nut, which is another dilemma for when it goes back together, because that's 450 Newton meters to tighten that hub nut up. Yeah, a lot of people are having a bit of a job, but I've got some pullers and some bits and pieces. I don't want to be whacking the shit out of the drive shaft, because a 43 euro wheel bearing could turn into an expensive job if you start cocking stuff up. So yeah, that's probably be it for this video. Just thought I'd let you know we're in the garage, we're having a bit of a tidy up. Range Rover's coming in hopefully at some point, probably tomorrow. I'm going to see how easy it is to get this engine. If it's going to look like a bit of a twat, I'll leave it on there. We'll drag it out and we'll just put a sheet over it. Job done. Get the Range Rover in here, get that done. While the Range Rover's in here, I'm going to change the front diff oil. And I've got some bits and pieces to do under the engine. I've probably told you this before. Got these elbow pipes on the inlet manifold, the inlet side of things anyway. One of those was leaking while I was on holiday. I think I have found the boost leak, which I've mentioned, but I'll just change those as well at some point. Oh, always something to do, isn't there? But at least we can do it ourselves, these little jobs. I know a lot of people will probably think of a wheel bearing and think, I ain't touching that, but we've got no choice. I'm not paying out another garage to do something that I can do myself. As I said to Tina, we'll get the car in. Make sure you've used the car. You've got all your jobs done that you need the car for, because if it's stuck in here for a week, then it's stuck in here for a week. And I can just take my time. I don't want to be breaking anything off, so plenty of lubrication. Anyway, that's going to be another job for another day. I'm going to have a look at this now. So just thought I'd let you know what we're getting up to. We are still here. As I said in the New Year video, I'm just going to put out content as and when. It's not going to be regular every week, I don't think. But yeah, I will try. If there's something, I'll just grab something quick on the phone, like this video. Let you know what we're up to. We are still here. We're still plodding on. Can't say any more than that. So we will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.